Robin Williams. American actor and comedian. Robin McLaurin Williams was an American actor and comedian. Known for his improvisational skills and the wide variety of characters he created on the spur of the moment and portrayed on film, in dramas and comedies alike, Williams is regarded as one of the greatest comedians of all time. Born July 21, 1951, Chicago, Illinois, United States. Died August 11, 2014, age 63 years, Paradise Cay, California, United States. Children: Zelda Williams, Zachary Pym Williams, Cody Allen Williams. Spouse: Susan Schneider, M. 2011 to 2014, Marcia Garces Williams, M. 1989 to 2010, Valerie Velarde, M. 1978 to 1988. Height: 1.7 meters. Robin McLaurin Williams was born on Saturday, July 21, 1951, in Chicago, Illinois, a great-great-grandson of Mississippi Governor and Senator Anselm J. McLaurin. His mother, Lori McLaurin, née Janin, was a former model from Mississippi, and his father, Robert Fitzgerald Williams, was a Ford Motor Company executive from Indiana. Williams had English, German, French, Welsh, Irish, and Scottish ancestry. Robin briefly studied political science at Claremont Men's College and theater at College of Marin before enrolling at the Juilliard School to focus on theater. After leaving Juilliard, he performed in nightclubs where he was discovered for the role of Mork, from Ork, in an episode of Happy Days, 1974. The episode, My Favorite Orkin, 1978, led to his famous spin-off weekly TV series, Mork and Mindy, 1978. He made his feature-starring debut, playing the title role in Popeye, 1980, directed by Robert Altman. Williams' continuous comedies and wild comic talents involved a great deal of improvisation, following in the footsteps of his idol Jonathan Winters. Williams also proved to be an effective dramatic actor, receiving Academy Award nominations for Best Actor in a Leading Role in Good Morning, Vietnam, 1987, Dead Poets Society, 1989, and The Fisher King, 1991, before winning the Academy Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role in Good Will Hunting, 1997. During the 1990s, Williams became a beloved hero to children the world over for his roles in a string of hit family-oriented films, including Hook, 1991, Ferngully, The Last Rainforest, 1992, Aladdin, 1992, Mrs. Doubtfire, 1993, Jumanji, 1995, Flubber, 1997, and Bicentennial Man, 1999. He continued entertaining children and families into the 21st century with his work in Robots, 2005, Happy Feet, 2006, Night at the Museum, 2006, Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian, 2009, Happy Feet 2, 2011, and Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb, 2014. Other more adult-oriented films for which Williams received acclaim include The World According to Garp, 1982, Moscow on the Hudson, 1984, Awakenings, 1990, The Birdcage, 1996, Insomnia, 2002, 1 Hour Photo, 2002, World's Greatest Dad, 2009, and Boulevard, 2014. On Monday, August 11, 2014, Robin Williams was found dead at his home in Tiburon, California, USA, the victim of an apparent suicide, according to the Marin County Sheriff's Office. A 911 call was received at 11:55 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Firefighters and paramedics arrived at his home at 12 p.m. PDT, and he was pronounced dead at 12:02 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Family. Spouses. Susan Schneider, October 22, 2011 to August 11, 2014, his death. Marcia Garces Williams, April 30, 1989, 2010, divorced, 2 children. Valerie Velarde, June 4, 1978 to December 6, 1988, divorced, 1 child. Children. Zach Williams. Zelda Williams. Cody Williams. Parents. Lori McLaurin, Janin. Robert Fitzgerald Williams. Relatives: McLaurin Clement Mickey Williams, grandchild. Trademarks: wild improvised stream of consciousness comedy dialogue where he would do cultural references, impersonations, and one-liners with rapid switching. Unique skill at imitating voices. Frequently played offbeat and eccentric characters. Frequently played fathers or family men. Often played characters lacking in self-awareness. Often played men who have suffered a trauma or loss. Often played characters with mental instability and/or a deep capacity for violence. 1 Hour Photo, Insomnia. Distinctive low-pitched and extremely versatile voice. Often clean-shaven in comedies while bearded in dramatic films. Humble and soft-spoken. Often infused as comic characters with an undercurrent of deep melancholy. Trivia: 1 week after Christopher Reeve's tragic horse-riding accident, Williams visited him in the hospital. However, he was dressed from head to toe in scrubs, spoke with a Russian accent, and had a surgical mask on. He was acting as if he was a real doctor and did a bunch of wacky antics. After he took off his mask, Reeve stated, "That was the first time I'd laughed since the accident." He was frequently called up by Steven Spielberg when he was filming Schindler's List, 1993. He would put him on speakerphone so he could tell jokes to the cast and crew to cheer them up. He used his character in Aladdin, 1992, most of the time. When he auditioned for the role of Mork from Ork on Happy Days, 1974, producer Gary Marshall told him to sit down. Williams immediately sat on his head on the chair. Marshall hired him, saying that he was the only alien who auditioned. He was a very overweight child. As a result, nobody would play with him. He started talking in different voices to entertain himself. He studied at the Juilliard School with actor Christopher Reeve. The two remained good friends until Reeve's death in 2004. During the course of recording the voice of Genie in Aladdin, 1992, Robin improvised so much they had almost 16 hours of material. He also ad-libbed so many of his lines that the movie script was turned down for a Best Adapted Screenplay Academy Award nomination. He was voted most humorous and least likely to succeed in school. After having won the Academy Award for Good Will Hunting, 1997, he sent Pierre Augustinski, who was his standard German dubbing voice, a little Oscar replica with a note, "Thank you for making me famous in Germany." In 1997, he was voted Funniest Man Alive by Entertainment Weekly. When his Inside the Actors Studio, 1994, interview was being taped, a man in the audience had to be hospitalized after acquiring a hernia from laughing so hard. Upon his death, his wife, Susan Schneider, said, "This morning I lost my husband and my best friend, while the world lost one of its most beloved artists and beautiful human beings. I am utterly heartbroken. On behalf of Robin's family, we are asking for privacy during our time of profound grief. As he is remembered, it is our hope the focus will not be on Robin's death, but on the countless moments of joy and laughter he gave to millions." As a comic book lover, Williams happily accepted an offer to play the Joker in Batman, 1989, after Jack Nicholson was hesitant to take on the part. Upon hearing that Williams had committed to the part, Nicholson immediately signed on, and Warner Brothers let the former go. Williams was so upset about being used as leverage to get Nicholson on board that he refused to do movies for Warner Brothers, for years afterwards, until the studio had apologized to him. He co-owned the Rubicon restaurant in San Francisco with Robert De Niro and fellow Bay Area resident Francis Ford Coppola. During the making of Mork and Mindy, 1978, he departed from the scripts and ad-libbed so many times and so well that the producers stopped trying to make him stick to the script and deliberately left gaps in the later scripts, leaving only "Mork can go off here" in those places so he could improvise. Early in his career, he told a reporter that he was born in Scotland. His original press releases indeed listed Scotland as his place of birth. He admitted that he was under the influence at the time he said this. He was really born in Chicago. He became extremely close with Lisa Yacoub and Mara Wilson, who played his daughters in Mrs. Doubtfire, 1993, and stayed in touch with them over the years. Mara described him as a source of great comfort after the death of her mother. During the restaurant scene in Mrs. Doubtfire, 1993, when her false teeth fell into a wine glass, the cast didn't know Williams would do that, and their reactions on film were genuine, mirroring the shock of the crew. He considered Jonathan Winters and Richard Pryor his comedic idols. Quotes. Cocaine is God's way of telling you you are making too much money. And now that you have a child, you have to clean up your act, 'cause you can't drink anymore. You can't come home drunk and go, "Hey, here's a little switch, Daddy's gonna throw up on you." Ah, yes, divorce, from the Latin word meaning to rip out a man's genitals through his wallet. See, the problem is that God gives men a brain and a penis, and only enough blood to run one at a time. Ballet, men wearing pants so tight that you can tell what religion they are. You can start any Monty Python routine and people finish it for you. Everyone knows it like shorthand. On Canada, Canada is like a loft apartment over a really great party. Comedy is acting out optimism. To troops in Iraq, I'm looking at a group of heavily armed people here. I'm telling myself if you're not funny, it's a problem. On Popeye, 1980, if you watch it backwards, it has a plot. Everyone has these two visions when they hold their child for the first time. The first is your child as an adult saying, "I want to thank the Nobel Committee for this award." The other is, "You want fries with that?" A woman would never make a nuclear bomb. They would never make a weapon that kills, no. They'd make a weapon that makes you feel bad for a while. About comic lines written by Mark Shaiman being removed for innuendo, i.e. Chip and Dale are both strippers, the week before for his presenting of Best Animated Film at the 77th Academy Awards. For a while you get mad, then you get over it. They're afraid of saying olive oil is anorexic. It tells you about the state of humor. It's strange to think, how afraid are you? We thought that they got the irony of it. I guess not. You're only given one little spark of madness. You mustn't lose it. They're talking about partial nuclear disarmament, which is also like talking about partial circumcision. You either go all the way or forget it. Countering the complaint that the juiciest roles go to younger actors, the roles, may not be financially enriching, but personally enriching? Yes. You are no longer under pressure. You don't have to prove yourself on some levels, but you do have to, creatively, push yourself. I started doing comedy because that was the only stage that I could find. It was the pure idea of being on stage. That was the only thing that interested me, along with learning the craft and working, and just being in productions with people. On his acting career, all the new people you meet, it's pretty amazing. The vampire needs new blood. And there is still a lot to learn, and there is always great stuff out there. Even mistakes can be wonderful. Okra is the closest thing to nylon I've ever eaten. It's like they bred cotton with a green bean. Okra tastes like snot. The more you cook it, the more it turns into string. I believe I could do Dance on Ice, or play in a musical of Freud's life called It's Your Mother, or maybe one for the symbolists, young at heart. There's always the one about India, the Gandhi man can. While accepting the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for Good Will Hunting, 1997, most of all, I want to thank my father, up there, the man who when I said I wanted to be an actor, he said, "Wonderful. Just have a backup profession like welding." Australians are basically English rednecks. If Darwin had landed in Australia, he would have gone, "I'm wrong. I'd play the Riddler in the next Batman, although it'd be hard to top Heath Ledger as the villain, and I'm a little hairy for tights. Plus, the Batman films have screwed me twice before. Years ago they offered me the Joker and then gave it to Jack Nicholson, then they offered me the Riddler and gave it to Jim Carrey. On entertaining the troops on USO tours, I enjoy it. I enjoy performing for heavily armed people. It's easier than going to Georgia. There's so much to talk about. The fact that Donald Trump wants to see Obama's birth certificate. I want to see his hairline first. I was once walking in an airport and a woman came up to me and said, "Be zany." That'd be like walking up to Barishikov and going, "Ply. Just do a ply. Do it. Do a relieve right now. Lift my wife." I went to rehab in wine country just to keep my options open. Men can't fake an orgasm, who wants to look that dumb, you know what I'm saying? Stand-up is the place where you can do things that you could never do in public. Once you step on stage, you're licensed to do that. It's an understood relationship. You walk on stage, it's your job. On Jonathan Winters, Jonathan taught me that the world is open for play, that everything and everybody is mockable, in a wonderful way. Jonathan Winters was my mentor. I told him that, and he said, please, I prefer Idol. On working with Al Pacino on Insomnia, 2002, I loved working with Pacino. Al does this method thing, where before every take, he roars like a lion. So my first day working with him I bleated like a goat. What was that? Hi Al, I'm here, it's just Robin, just playing. Playing scenes with him was a little surreal, because I was like, I'm watching Al Pacino, and then I'd realize I had to act, too. I loved talking to him off set. He plays all these incredible characters, but he claims most of the time he just wants to be in the village having coffee and discussing Aristotle. Salaries. The Crazy Ones, 2013, $165,000 per episode, 2013 to 2014. Man of the Year, 2006, $1 million. The Night Listener, 2006, $65,000. Bicentennial Man, 1999, $20 million. Aladdin and the King of Thieves, 1996, $1 million. Jumanji, 1995, $15 million. Aladdin, 1992, $100,000. Popeye, 1980, $500,000. Mork and Mindy, 1978, $35,000 per half-an-hour episode.